Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you for a very kind introduction. The President, Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan, Honorable Council members, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. It's a great honor and a privilege for me to be with you and be amongst you in the All Pakistan Chartered Accountant Conference 2022. It's a momentous occasion as this conference is being held after a pause of 18 years as highlighted by the President. And my compliments and congratulations to the entire council. And of course, the organizing committee is spearheaded by Muhammad Maqbool Saab. Well done, sir, and thank you very much. So I'm joining today as a past president of this institute and also as a member of IFAC PAO DAG committee. The topic, the present and the future of accounting profession, is very close to our heart in the IFAC committee, and we have been discussing and deliberating it regularly. So the presentation which is going to follow, I'll be sharing with you the thoughts and findings of our committee over a period of time. Next slide. Before I move forward, let me introduce the PAO DAG, which is Professional Accountancy Organization Development Advisory Group. It's a committee of the IFAC, which basically helps the IFAC to support the strong, robust, and sustainable POs across the globes. And when I say POs, it means organizations like ICAP or ICMA in Pakistan context, or CA Canada, Australia, and all those organizations which are member of the IFAC. And this committee consists of 12 members, and which are nominated by different POs globally. And I am a nominee of the ICAP, and I'm working with this committee for the last 6 years. We undertake work in this committee under a framework of 4 A's, which is advise, assist, access, and advocate. So we advise the IFAC board on the challenges facing the accounting profession. We assist the developing PAOs by providing mentorship and helping them in their journey. We provide access to expertise, resources, and literature available across the globe. And also we do a lot of advocacy work by engaging with the various stakeholders and also doing outreach. So in 2022, the overarching focus of this committee was, as you can see, PAO resilience and strengthening membership quality. So during these discussions, we dug deep into various issues which are confronting the profession, such as accounting education, public financial management, sustainability, just as you heard, technology, and corruption, etc. But due to the paucity of time, I'm going to limit myself to the 3 topics only. That is the technology, sustainability, and anti-corruption. And please excuse me, there may be overlapping or repetition because every member is going to talk about these topics. But thanks God, I'm earlier in the day, so you have just heard a little bit of sustainability. So in 2018, I remember our committee meeting started with a meditation. And after meditation, we were asked to visualize a future accountant. So with a clean and clear minds, we came up with the image of future accountants. Let me share with you the image we came up with. Next slide, please. So I look across, there are gentlemen in pinstrip suits, ladies well-dressed, ties, and smart shining shoes. But this guy is something totally different. So this is the future. Mr. Pat with the shorts and a shirt, and you see him, he looks like more a Palo Alto or a Stevie Jobs type techie than a normal gentleman accountant. And you also see his environment. He is not in a formal workstation or an office. He's up there in a very cool environments. So this theme was very important, and we came to 3 conclusions about the future accountant. The number one was that the future accountants will be as good in data analytics as financial reporting. Number 2, the future accountant will be global rather than local. And this can have a serious impact on us, accountancy profession in Pakistan also. And it is already there. Number 3 was that despite the technological advancement in trade and business, the interpretation would be done by an insightful human with a personal touch. So you can't take that away, personal touch of insightful human. So interpretation is needed, and that touch cannot be taken away. So next slide, please. Technology, as you heard, is affecting everybody. Our lives have become digital. Our businesses have become digital. Even our large and lethargic governments have become digital. In Pakistan perspective, we come across e-governments now in all facets of life. So no doubt accounting profession has invested in technology. The PEOs have invested in technology to improve the standard of the traditional services they offer. But this is to be understood that having an adequate technology is only one part of the story. Actually, digital transformation should be a long-term objective and endeavor of every PEO. Because investment in digital transformation would ensure that the PEO continue to provide not only its core functions, but also provide a very efficient, effective, and quality service to the members and other outside stakeholders. So realizing the importance of digitalization, the International Federation of Accountants joined hand and collaborated with CloudThings and come up with a PEO readiness assessment tool. And we sent that tool to all global PEOs. So that tool is very unique in a way because it tells the organization or the PEO to the level of maturity or where it is in its journey to digital transformation. And that tool is not only an instrument to help the PEO to plan and strategize, but is also an educational source to help the PEO continue that journey. And we are going to share the result of that survey later part of this year. But the finding that came before the committee was that the major transformation is required in the area of education. And let me share with you 2 findings. The finding number 1 was that 66%, that is 2/3 of the global PEOs, are still looking for an approach to online examination. So that means they are still in the old traditional style of classroom education with paper-based exams. And you know that the COVID has actually highlighted the necessity for PEOs to leverage technology and make a shift to online examination. But let me take a pause and highlight something here. I have recently, I think about 6-8 months back, written an article which has been published in IFAC Gateway, and it titles every cloud has a silver lining, ICAP push to digitalization. And I have showcased the remarkable feat of the Institute of Chartered Accountants Pakistan. You know, in 2020, our exams were postponed for the first time in the history. And that brought the realization to digital transformation by the ICAP. And I think I must salute, and I feel so proud that Institute of Chartered Accountants Pakistan, in just short period of 6 months, was able to digitally transform its examination system online and providing e-proctoring software, which enabled the examinee to have a choice to give exam sitting anywhere in the world. And not only that, they upgraded their e-marking system and integrated it with the e-assessments, thus providing a very secure and efficient marking and result tabulation system. And I've concluded in my article that this was done due to three things. The ownership by the leadership at the council level, the excellent commitment shown by the ICAP executives, and third and most importantly, the choice of the quality solution provider globally, which made this a success. So my salute to ICAP and its entire team for achieving that, which 2/3 of the globe is still finding a way to approach it. The second जो हमारी important finding थी वो ये है, the second finding is that the globe is still divided how to incorporate technology into accounting education. Yes, developed institutes have embedded the competencies into their assessment system, but the developing institutes are still struggling to find its approach to this issue. So IFAC offers implementation guidance on how to enhance the professional competence and development and application of the knowledge, skills, and behavior needed in ICT by aspiring and qualified professional accountants. And I must urge all those who are involved in education to look at that valuable source. Next slide. So we also debated what POs need to do to advance in this area, and we came up with a few action points. And first and foremost was that the institutes or POs must carry out and research and assess the impact of ICT on in the local environment where their member practice. But this is important because things are different from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. And once you have made the assessment and the research, then you need to identify the knowledge and skill that would be required by the accountant in the local conditions. And then you need to incorporate those knowledge and skills into their assessments and CPDs. Next slide. We also emphasized that the POs need to offer trainings for the skill and competencies need to use the emerging technologies like remote audit solutions, like artificial intelligence, and like data analytics. And more importantly, it was also highlighted that the POs should encourage its member to stay committed to a lifelong learning, to remain relevant in the fast changing world by developing new ICT skills and competencies. Because it cannot be a one-time undertaking. The technology is emerging regularly on a very fast pace. So you need to keep yourself abreast with it. And lastly, and very importantly, this has been on the debate plates for a very long time, that it's high time to develop specialties. Like in medicine, we have specialization for so many things, but in accountancy, the time has come that journal knowledge or journal CPD or basic assessment may not work. For in technology also, there may be circumstances where we'll need more expertise. So there should be post qualifications based on technology and other subjects. Next slide. The next biggest challenge would be sustainability. You heard David, he elaborated a lot in detail. I'm going to cover it from the perspective of PAOs. You are all aware that in 2015, the United Nations adopted agenda for SDGs, Sustainable Development Goal 2030, where United Nations set targets for 17 different development goals at the heart of it. It was actually a blueprint for the mankind and the planet to live in peace and prosperity. And the United Nations urged the nations, both developing and developed, to join hands together and collaborate in helping fighting the poverty, fighting the inequality, fighting other deprivations, and working hand in hand for health and education, and while tackling the climate control and preserving our forests and oceans. That was the macro picture of that. So, and you have just seen that it's heartening to see that the accounting profession has taken a lead. And you just heard that the sustainability board setup has just come up with 2 exposure drafts, which are right now under review by the different BOs globally. And the one draft, I repeat, it deals with the climate change, and the other draft deals with the material information to be disclosed on social, environmental, and governance issues. But these sustainability reports and related services are critical in our fight against climate control, in our fight against inequality, and achieving the sustainable development goals. And the profession must rise in public interest to take a lead role. And it's, like you heard him right now, that it has actually, the sustainability report and assurance services has become an essential part of accounting profession now globally. So we are going to catch up very soon. That time is not very far away. But important thing which David also highlighted was that a lot of other actors and agencies and characters and companies and organizations have also entered this field. So that's a challenge to the accounting profession. Next slide. Because we feel that the accounting profession is best poised to undertake this work. But definitely, POs need to work hard, because if you look at those standards, it would be difficult for you to prepare a sustainability report or give an assurance services unless you acquire some additional competencies. So those POs need to work with their membership to upgrade their knowledge in these technical areas. Number 2, which is very important, is like in Pakistan environment, PO also need to spearhead the campaign for adoption of these standards. Because in the West, there's a big movement and there's a big pressure by the investors and other stakeholders on the global companies to provide this kind of information. But this storm has to catch on in Pakistan also. We are seeking support from the world. We had recent floods, which were the worst in the history, and this due to climate change. So while we seek support from the world, we must show through our actions that we are working on this critical area. And there's a public opinion to force the big corporations and the big companies to contribute and showcase what they are doing in these critical development goals. Lastly, we also observed that the large companies, large practicing companies across the globe have already upskilled their network firms globally. But SMPs are lacking behind. So here again, there is a role of PAOs. First of all, to convince them of the opportunity that has arisen or that is existing. Number 2, then to technically update them that they can undertake this work, and then enable them to position themselves to this demand of sustainability services from the market. So time for action on sustainability is now. Next slide. Third important challenge that I would like to briefly touch upon is corruption. You see, if you live in Pakistan now, in your daily lives, you whether like it or not, or you whether hate it, corruption will come in contact with you directly or indirectly. And you see, we have seen that the monetary and fiscal environment is being tightened by the regulator over the last 3, 4, 5 years. Globally also, and in Pakistan also. We see a lot of regulation coming up in shape of FATF, in shape of common reporting standard. And all these standards are focusing on money laundering, illegal flow of money, anti-corruption, tax evasion, etc. And mind it, this corruption is a hindrance to the business growth. This corruption is a hindrance to the economic growth. And this corruption is a hindrance to the foreign investment. And this corruption is hindrance to achieving the sustainable development goal. I was reading a report by the United Nations, and it said that in order to achieve those 17 sustainable SDGs, sustainable development goals, the globe need to spend $5 to $7 trillion each year to reach to that target which is set for 2030. But the interesting part was that $3.5 trillion are lost each year in corruption. So corruption is a hindrance. So this is an area where we must take lead. We must be champions of accountability and transparency. And we must work with all those organizations who counter corruption, whether locally or globally. So in the end, I would like to conclude by saying that the accounting profession has become or will become multidisciplinary. I would say has become multidisciplinary, as the expertise of non-traditional contributors have become essential for undertaking the daily work that we do. And this is an opportunity because this will create a demand for a trusted advisor with wide skill sets and collaborative abilities. The integrity and the professional ethics are our comparative advantage. We at that IFAC POD DAG are working how to support the profession in these areas. And we are also have ongoing engagement with the donors to help us to meet these challenges. But I would urge the accounting profession, the PAOs, and you chartered accountant to get actively involved with us in the process to paint the future picture. Thank you very much.